the Cronulla Sharks visited them as well last week. And when you, visit all the clubs and you really look at them on paper and then actually speak to them, spoke to Craig Fitzgibbon, I just feel like it's now or never for this team that Craig has assembled, because it's been together for, 4 years now, mostly obviously added Adam Fanua-Blake last year, and they've been about thereabouts. Like, they've been up there in the top 5 teams since Craig Fitzgibbon took over as coach.
2 prelims in a row.
Yeah. So it just, for me, it feels like this is the time. This year has to be their year, or he's going to have to make some big decisions about the roster.
I think he's put them on notice. He publicly came out. There's about 8 or 9 of them off contract that he said we'll decide after.
This is the year.
Yeah, we'll decide through the year what happens. I really like him. I think they've got to these 2 prelims. They'll be in every game. They're never going to get blown out. They're a tough footy team. They're a defensive side. They're in all these games. I reckon they'll be there. They'll be up and around that 4. They've run into Penrith and Melbourne for the last 2 or 3 years. Like they beat the Roosters last year at home, got to that prelim again. But again, the question is Kennedy, Trindle, Hines. There's no question mark on Brayley anymore. He's one of the premier 9s in the comp. But can they get this Kennedy, Trindle and Hines going? And what does that look like? The question marks, the noise will start early. The noise will start early with Nico.
You spoke about 8 or 9 players, off contract at the end of the year. Nico's not. And Braden Trindle's there. And that's the combination, and along with Kennedy at fullback, that has to click. I think at the end of the season, there was so much pressure on them, and understandably so, talk about them last year, because they weren't owning the big moments, those guys. But then at the end of the season, they did. And I reckon the confidence that they will take out of that, you tell me, just the fact that they've gone there and they did a job on Canberra in that game, and the 2 halves really took control of that game. And I know it didn't end up as a grand final, but I think that they will go into this season with a lot more belief in themselves that they can get the job done.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're just prime ready. I think that roster's been together, you said, Lara, for 5 years now.
Yeah.
Fitzy's kind of...
But Nico and Braden Trindle had, last year was their first full season together in the halves, and there was that whole chat every week about who's the dominant half. Does Fitzy need to make that call, or do you buy that he can let a player dominate depending on the opposition? Can he change it up each week?
Well, it depends on their philosophy around footy, right? Like, if I asked you who's the dominant half in Melbourne, what's the answer?
Depends on the week.
Exactly. I think it's the exact same with them. And Hannay moves on. He was the attack. Holdsworth comes up. Like, it's going to... We don't know. We're not inside. But they will have a philosophy and a way they want to play. And there'll be a decision. Do we want Nico to be the man? Is it Braden? Or is it that Melbourne philosophy of you're both in and out?
They sort of did that, didn't they, towards the end of the year? Like, Trindle is the 7. He's the natural leader of that side. He leads them around the park. But the way that Nico added to moments in those big games at the end of the season, it's sort of, that's how they should work.
Yeah.
Trindle's the 7. Nico plays the 6 role, and that's... he plays off the back of him. He takes his moments. It's like Munster at Melbourne, isn't it? Although some games Munster will go out and just decide, I'm going to run the ball 25 times today and try and stop me.
It's going to come... I reckon they're going to be in the exact same position this year. They're going to get to one of these big games, and like you said, it's about whether a couple of them take these big moments, take a game by the neck and just go, it's time to win. And I spoke to Cam, I'm close with Cam McInnes. I could tell straight away, it's like, this is it. This is our
feeling
year.
was.
And it can go one or two ways, right? These off-contract guys, if it starts to go a bit the other way, it can be a lot of noise and managers coming in and people moving and things like that. Or it can go, they're motivated, they're hungry.
Yeah.
They're all fighting for contracts.
And Brayley's also at that. He like you said, he's confirmed he's one of the best hookers in the game. If not, he'll be playing State of Origin this year. Well, him or Robson. But the way that he performed last year, you'd think he's maybe got his nose in front.